Week 18 is finally here. We'll talk about the Bengals playing the Browns, as well as Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase's comments recently coming up next on the Cincinnati podcast. Coming up on the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this. The whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.
Welcome to the Cincinnati podcast. I'm Ace. He is Zim. Happy New Year, Bengals fans. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Appreciate you guys bringing in another year with the Cincinnati podcast. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. That helps us. Also, if you're listening to this in your car, if you want to give us a late Christmas gift, definitely leave us a 5-star review. We appreciate that. That helps people find the channel. Zim, how you doing today, bro? You muted, bro. You muted.
Oh, all right, here we go. Yeah, no, I'm doing all right, man. I'm excited to get another show. I feel like we kind of missed some days, so we're back and we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot.
Nah, for sure. It has been a little bit since the last time we spoke to you guys. Holiday season, all kind of crazy up and down schedules. We were thinking about doing a show New Year's Eve, and then we were like, nobody's gonna watch a New Year's Eve. That's why you definitely have to hit that notification bell, because you will know whenever we go live. So make sure you definitely do that. Follow us on Twitter at the Cincinnati Pod. Follow me on Twitter at New Stripe City. Follow Zim at Zim Hude. But yeah, man, we're here to talk about some comments that were really made. And I'm just first, before we get into the comments, I'm going to recap the last game. Obviously, the Bengals got a big win over the Cardinals. Offense looked like they were in their regular season mode, right? Putting up 40, doing their thing. It was a situation where Chase Brown has really come alive in these last couple of games. Ja'Marr Chase is doing his thing. The Bengals offense is there, and the defense is playing better. Starting to see guys like Myles Murphy turn the corner. There's some encouraging signs for this team. We still come back to, though, this is a time where the games don't matter. We need to start seeing more of these kind of performances when the Bengals are still alive. We need to see them get to a point where they're able to make the playoffs despite these circumstances. Zen, what was your thoughts on the Cardinals game? I know I called you during the game, but talk to the people about how you felt about the Cardinals game.
It was one of those situations where I felt like it was just a little, like a little too late. I know you were saying like the offense is, fine, but man, like, bro, I just go back to the most meaningful games, and I feel like this is a trap that we ran into in 2024. It's like that clutch gene, that you gotta have it moment or whatever for the offense and defense combined, like whatever. Like for me, I just can't get over. They didn't do that when it was time to go play the Bills, because remember in the Bills game, it was 2 possessions before he threw the pick where they went 3 and out, or I think they had like 1 first down. So like sometimes like I'm not looking for the offense to be perfect, but I'm looking for them to put people away. And I thought like in that Bills game they didn't put anybody away, and then they come back in the Ravens game and they don't score at all. And then after that, okay, cool. Now we go into these 2 meaningless games. Now the offense wants to go crazy and like turn out. Like to me, it's like a lot of fans, I think, lean on stats and like a cumulative effort on like how they rate something. Like I saw something today that said the Bengals offensive line is the 20th ranked offensive line. In my heart of hearts, I don't care what the rankings are. I watch a lot of football. It's a fringe top 10 offensive line in football, but a lot of it's situational. So I'm not worried about the offensive line. But the one thing I will say is like some of the things that I think kind of rear their head in like the Cardinals game. Like there are a couple series where I'm like, I just wish that Joe wouldn't have to be, when you watch other teams, and that's what I encourage a lot of Bengals fans to do. I just wish that Joe wouldn't have to be into pure dropbacks where like there isn't, like they do the little Ja'Marr Chase bubble screens. They give you about 3 or 4 of those a game. fake like he's going to go out, then he comes back, catches it. That's the one gets scored a touchdown on the Cardinals game. Those are easy, simple ones. I would like for them to have different ones. Like when I watch the Rams play, they're sending Puka Nacua through the A and B gap and just scheming different ways for him to get easy matchups before it even happens. Or like some of these RPO things that other teams are doing. I think Joe Burrow could do it. He's not slow. He's not fast, but he's not slow. There are things that I watch Brock Purdy and them do, and I'm just like, I wish that was simplified. Because when you get into those gotta-have-it moments, yes, there are teams like I remember the Jordan Love game where he just throws miraculous throws at the end. But a lot of those games are teams and coaches scheming up simple ways to get the ball to people. And I always feel like the Bengals offense is not really that simple to me. It's always like really tough. Joe Flacco comes in there and does the simple thing like throw it to Ja'Marr Chase 23 times. But when he doesn't, it looked a little different. It looked crazy for him. In the Patriots game, it looked crazy for him. And I think them playing against pedestrian teams right now, it just doesn't really hold that much weight for me. So, like, I find myself, like, even at the end of that game in the fourth quarter, I switched the game off. I started watching the Steelers game because it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't really mean too much to me. And for the first time in a long time, you know, I'm just watching these games and saying, like, damn, like, the Bengals really, you know, just aren't in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to the Bengals are winning these games, and they have this streak of winning games once they get eliminated, trying to end the season on a good note, right? And that's cool, but there's teams like sitting people at these points, right? Like going into this game, the Cardinals put some guys on IR. It's the Cardinals, right? They don't have Kyler Murray playing right now. So I think when I called you, you said like this is like a preseason game. And I think that was the perfect analogy to it is these are teams that are starting guys that normally wouldn't start in the months of September, October, November. Like this is people trying to see what they have for the future. Like no disrespect to Jacoby Brissett, he's not the guy there in Arizona going forward, right? Gannon is a guy that might be getting fired. Like, so what do these games truly matter from that perspective? I think, like you said, you matched it perfectly. It's just a preseason game. And like you said, we don't want to see the offense score 30 plus, 40 plus now. We wanted to see them do that when they played the Ravens, when they played the Bills, like so that they could still be alive in these circumstances. And seeing two teams in the division still be alive at this point and seeing that it's coming down to week 18, you just kind of feel like the Bengals should have been in that conversation, especially with the talent that they have in terms of a Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins. This team should not be a 6-win, 7-win team, right? They should at least be able to get 9 wins. That's where I thought that they could even finish. Now, obviously, Burrow was hurt, and there's some things defensively that they have to fix personnel-wise. But this team still, in my opinion, was good enough to at least make the playoffs. So, I mean, it just everything fell where it did, but that's kind of the main gripe about them winning these games. Not that we're not excited, it's just the timing of when this production was coming.
And in contrast, look at a team like the Bears and look at the Chiefs from 2024. On our end, we're like, man, if we would have tackled Colston Loveland on the Bears end, think about it from a perspective. I enjoy looking at other teams and looking at like how they might, you know what I mean? Like, remember I was telling you, I said, man, how you think a Bills fan felt when Benford got that pick? Right. You know, they're probably like, bro, this is the crazy. We're so clutch. We can win it all. On the Bengals flip side, we're using our perspective and saying, like, bro, how could you throw that? Like, if we don't throw that, he probably went, you know what I mean? Like, in their eyes, they're like, nah, that's a clutch. And when I look at the Bears this season, remember when we were playing them, that was a team that was going down. That wasn't a team that was going up. We thought we were supposed to beat them. But clutch moment after clutch moment, defense folds. And they just fold and they fold and they fold. Jets game, same thing. And those two games right there. And then you go to the offense, Ravens game, Bills game, that's 4 games right there. Like, we're talking about the top of the AFC just off of those 4 games right there where, you know what I'm saying, literally, if you just play them and play those clutch moments in the meaningful games, then we're not even here. We're not even going to go into how the Patriots game was super winnable, Packers game was super winnable. You know what I mean? Like, there are games like the Vikings where we got destroyed. I get that. But, like, I don't know, man. It's a tough conversation because the talent is there, but it's just like the consistency in all these spots in these clutch moments really do bother me, and it bothered me all the way in 2024. I have a motto, like, even if the score is 42 to 39 or 17 to 14 or whatever, you have to figure out a way to go win those spots. And I think that's what the Bears have done this year. The Bears are literally like, they're not an insane. They have no pass rush. Their pass rush is not good, but they have a bunch of weapons. Some guys that got hurt or whatever, like Roma Doomsday and stuff like that. And then guys like Luther Burden, who was a troubled guy in the pre-draft process that failed to them. They were forced to play him. I hope everybody's catching that. Luther Burden was a guy that had off the field issues, different things, question marks on his character. When Roma Doomsday and the other wide receiver, DJ Moore and guys like that started getting banged up, they had to play Luther Burden. His tape looks just like everything about him is Jermaine Burton. So I like watch him, and I'm just like, bro, like, that's what happens when you just play those guys and say F it, and then let them figure it out and they get encouraged by it. But that was a topic that I had over the weekend. I don't know if you saw this, but the Patriots ran into a couple different things off the field. Mm-hmm. And the one constant that I will say that is the difference between our fan base and other fan bases, that fan base is sitting there saying, oh yeah, it must be a conspiracy to take us out because they don't want us to win. Nobody's sitting there saying, let me give evidence submit so that we can get these guys off the field. They don't care. They just want to play. The coach just comes out there and says the same thing. He's like, yeah, it's not really that unfortunate. Like, yeah, we'll just go through the process. That's how everybody else is operating. But for whatever reason, we're in this. And that's a different conversation to me, and I don't want to put Ace in this because this is my thoughts. These are my thoughts. You can't say on one end, like, yeah, bro, like, I want us to win. And I don't care. I want dogs. And then anytime somebody gives you like a character flaw or anything like that, you're just like, oh no, I want them off my team. Like that doesn't work the same way. And then the principle and what are you about as a human being, that comes into play. So then people will be like, well, Zim, how could you condone that? Like, these dudes bro, I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a cop. I don't have none of them. So when I look at all of these incidents, and Ace will tell you this, I don't really concern myself with nobody off the field stuff. I just got my own family, and I don't care. To me, it takes too much time to like dig into this. I don't have time for that. Like, I'm doing other things, like, right. So it's not that you're glorifying or you're saying that that's okay, but you're telling people that the process is the process. The court system is the court system. I'm not here to do that. If it's a conviction, then yes, the guy's off the team. If it's not, you got to let the court system play it out. Like, that's just how it goes, like, around where I'm from. Like, somebody commit a crime, like, you got to kind of mind your business. If you want to, you could kind of pick how you want to do it, but the consequences of snitching still are, that's still a real thing. Then also, just the whole, if I mind my business, maybe it doesn't affect me as much, right? And then there's so many different conversations that come with it. And then when you do have the results and you do have the information from it, then you got to then draw the line in it. If they had evidence on Diggs and all these other people like that, and they brought it to my attention, I'd be like, yeah, all right, bro, got to go. That's a different conversation. But allegations, all of these teams are going through that. Henry Ruggs about to play for a team. Rice just played. All these dudes are playing. We're the only ones that are saying, nah, I don't want any, like, if somebody miss a practice, I don't want none of that. Like, the teams that, and then remember Diggs, Trayvon Diggs got kicked off the team. Fan base told me, nah, we don't need him. The Packers picked him up less than 24 hours, a playoff team. So at 5 wins, we're being choosy on who we would want. But then a team in a playoff hunt is saying, yeah, I need that guy, less than 24 hours. That to me goes hand in hand with the conversation on the front office. You can't complain about the front office drafting choir boys and guys that you don't like, but then you're being choosy and selective on guys that you do like. That's the part that's the disconnect to me. Is like, where y'all trying to go with that? Because to me, I'm like, it's some dudes out there that I think are like straight up dogs that I don't think the Bengals would touch, and I don't think the fan base would like it. Like guys like Bane that played in that Miami game, that's a wild dude. I don't know if they would embrace somebody like that. That's somebody that's going to say whatever they want. He's been talking trash to the other teams on the field. He's a menace. Some people said, you can go either way on him, but personality wise, he's a lot more outspoken than what we're accustomed to. So you gotta let that part play out, just like Ja'Marr Chase. You were talking about some quotes over the weekend. There are some guys that will be more outspoken.
For sure. So get into some of the quotes. I'm going to start with the original one, which was Joe Burrow, and then Ja'Marr Chase responded to it. So let me read this quote from Chase. We don't want to be in this, or not from Chase, from Burrow. We don't want to be in the spot that we are in right now. So something's got to change. Whether it's players, we have to continue to improve and get better and play championship caliber football, or bringing in guys that will, or whatever that may be. Obviously, something has to change. What we've been doing hasn't worked the last couple of years. We have to think outside of the box and get creative about where we go from here. So Ja'Marr Chase was asked to respond to that, and he said, I think some of the things are pretty obvious what we need to change. At the end of the day, I can't really say or put an emphasis on what needs to be changed because that's not my role. But it's pretty obvious on what some of the issues are that need to be changed. This is big. This is coming from your two franchise players in terms of their grievances with the team. When I first heard this, I automatically started thinking, I think I asked everybody because I didn't want to be biased, right? Because it's pretty clear on this show where I kind of sit in terms of front office, coaching, but you can't ignore some of the defense. And Ja'Marr also had a quote as well where he said something like, it doesn't matter what me and Joe do. We can't control 10 or 11 guys, right? So that sounds like, obviously, it leans towards the defense, right? Like whoever is bringing in these prospects, are they upset that guys are leaving and not being retained? But digging around, I'm wondering if this is bigger than a Zach Taylor, if this is bigger than a Duke Tobin. Is this the way that ownership has decided to do their things? Because, Duke Tobin can only work with the budget that he's given, right? He can only make offers to certain players with whatever they are comfortable with. They have now, I'm not going to say that the Bengals haven't stepped out of their comfort zone because they did that with Ja'Marr Chase. They did that with T. Higgins, even though, some teams might have given T a little bit more. They were still willing to go ahead and meet T's demands in order to keep him in Cincinnati. But it seems like they need to do a little bit more of that in terms of the defense, whether that's opening the wallet more to bring in some notable players, whether that's keeping players, whether that's getting ahead of things like a DJ Turner. In my opinion, I haven't just been like, spend the money. I've actually wanted them to kind of get ahead of these things and save some money by extending a guy like DJ Turner now, by extending a Dax Hill now, by extending a Miles Murphy now. That's going to save you money via the long term. I'm not just saying, hey, make DJ Turner the highest paid corner in the league. I'm not asking for you to make Miles Murphy a high paid edge rusher. I'm just saying to do what you did back in the day with the Geno Atkins, with the AJ Green, when they were in their prime, extending them years before the market exploded. It seems like lately to me, the Bengals have been kind of dragging their feet, and it's really bit them in their pockets, because once they wait for these things like a Jesse Bates situation, the market for safety explodes to a level that they aren't willing to actually meet. When you see it with the T. Higgins situation, the wide receiver market the year before where they tried to get it done, it exploded. Same thing with Ja'Marr Chase. It exploded. Justin Jefferson is getting this money, so now you got to give Chase $40 million a year. For me, I wonder if it's more than just a Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor situation. And now I kind of wonder, like, how do you change that? Like, how can you make that change? Because I don't know how something like that can change. That was just my perspective on it. That's just what I think about it. What did you take away from these comments in terms of Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, and what they feel like needs to change?
Before I do that, I want to go to shout out to Fuzzy Balls. He puts in a super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. He said, would you sign DJ Reader to a 2-year, $5 million 2.5 per, low risk, great leadership for the D line. What would you do, Ace?
Of course, would DJ Reader sign that though? I don't know. I know he's had a tough season, but 2.5 million is kind of crazy. I don't know. Of course I would, but would he sign that?
I don't know. I don't think any team will offer him more than $6 million per.
Yeah. Agreed.
To get a 2-year with guarantees or something like that. I could see that maybe incentivize. I don't know though. I don't think he's falling off that crazy. I feel like Lions fans have not, appreciated him that much this year. To me, my overhaul like this all season would be removing BJ Hill from the equation. I would welcome DJ Reader back. I would pay him up to like $6 million, honestly. Like, I just think that even if he was a rotational run defender, like just 20-something snaps a game, I just think that we need everybody. Like, we're a 5-win team or 6-win team. Like, I'm one of them people like stockpile all these positions. Like, anybody saying that offense, we're good, defense, you're like, what? No, we're not. Like, we're not. Like, I'm in the mode now where I'm thinking if somebody gets injured, I need the next man up to be on point too. Because I hear that a lot too. Everybody's like, man, the offensive line is straight too. I kind of need a tackle for the future on the roster. I need a left tackle no less than round 4 upcoming this draft to be the potential, person to replace Orlando Brown eventually. Anyway, Solomon Womble 4093, appreciate you as well. He says, much love to you all. Been a fan of y'all since 2017 during New Start City days. Quick question. How much do y'all miss TB on this offense?
Go ahead, Zim. I'll let you answer that first.
I do. I think that reliable wide receiver 3. I've been telling everybody same kind of thing as the DJ Reader thing or whatever. I don't know if y'all seen this, but Keenan Allen is trying to he needs like 3 or 4 catches coming up, 50 yards or something like that to reach like a whole bunch of different incentives. The reason why is because like his career's coming down to the end. Somebody like him, to me, I think would be a good wide receiver 3. He still has juice in the tank, and he's on his way almost probably out the league. It's not a D-Hop situation where you just got this guy that's just out there like being a leader. Like, he's actually still producing, and he doesn't drop passes. I think we haven't had somebody like that since TB. So this upcoming season, that's how much I miss TB. I want them to go get Keenan Allen as a wide receiver 3. I know there's going to be some asshole that's going to say, how could you talk about the offense? I'm talking about the offense because I want every single thing to that. That's another thing that I just want people to get out of is like, don't think that you won't be next. I'm watching dudes tear their ACLs, all types of crazy stuff every single week. You never know. You need to make sure that your roster is stockpiled. The 49ers had so many injuries, but they had the depth behind it all across the roster. We watched our team in 2021 and 2022 be missing key offensive linemen in some of these spots. Or in an AFC championship game, Tyler Boyd goes out of that game. We don't even have a wide receiver 3. We literally watch what that looks like. So to have that on board, I need it. I need that.
Yeah, I think for wide receiver 3, I think Tyler Boyd is missed, and I think it's what he represents. And not to like, I understand some people feel like Yoshi isn't the answer, and I'm cool with that. I think that he's been solid. It would be unfair to say like he hasn't been solid. He's definitely been solid. But I think with Tyler Boyd was so much of a threat that if you did double team T and you did double team Ja'Marr, Tyler Boyd is killing you like the whole game. Like, Tyler Boyd could go for like 120 on like
it's over. It's over.
7-8 receptions. So it made teams have to get out of that, and it made it easier for T and Ja'Marr. I mean, they're gonna make it look easy anyway, right? But it just was that final piece that you needed to kind of be unstoppable. I think back to that Bills game. Unfortunately, they got stopped. And who was the first person that they were targeting in that game?
Tyler Boyd.
It was Tyler Boyd. So
and he was cooking their CB1 and Tre'Davious White, who's currently still playing in the NFL and starting for the Buffalo Bills.
Him, and then there was the Chiefs game where Tyler Boyd gets hurt. A lot of people don't talk about that. Tyler Boyd gets hurt and was cooking in that game. So I think you do miss the idea of a Tyler Boyd being there where you have a reliable 3 that you know can go off for like 100 yards. I think Yoshi is, somewhat reliable. He can make plays when needed, but I don't think we've seen Yoshi take the step to be like all right, if I double team Ja'Marr and T, Yoshi's gonna kill me for 100 yards. Like I think he'll probably have like a 70-yard game in him. I don't know if he has a 100-yard game and makes all of those catches like a Tyler Boyd makes. And I think that's why you talked about the offense. Yes, the offense still needs that wide receiver 3. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were to add a wide receiver 3, whether it's in the draft or whether
See, I
it
don't
is
see that. That's why I don't want it. I don't want
you
it in the
don't want a
draft.
wide receiver 3 there.
In the draft, none. Because that's when I start talking like offense or whatever. They
Oh,
probably
you
like,
want like a veteran, like you said, like
yes.
Keenan Allen.
Why
Type,
are we playing around with it? Just go get a legit guy that like Keenan Allen. Somebody gotta go look this up. Bro almost got like 1,000 yards or something coming up, or like at least like 800 as a wide receiver 3. I mean, as a wide receiver 3 currently right now on the team. You don't think that the Bengals could use a wide receiver 3? He's one of the greatest route runners in the history of football. Like that alone, and he's dependable. So if you have that, I don't need to be. I'm not trying to build up nobody through the draft. And remember, we lost the pick. Our draft needs to be predominantly defense. Everybody kind of understands
that's valid. Like wasting resources on a wide receiver 3 probably isn't at the top of the list when you're trying to rebuild a defense. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from that, and you just want somebody that's more.
Why are we playing around?
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I could say the same thing about defense. Like I don't know if I want to take the risk of another rookie linebacker.
But I'm gonna tell you the difference is this: in free agency, I'm already going crazy on defense. So like so when I talk about Keenan Allen, that's just a low level like $4 million with incentives is like the most he would get at 35 years old. But the only reason why I'm even doing it because he just had 800 yards. Like that's not like 800 yards for Yoshi. We probably talking about we have 7 dubs right now. Like 800 yards from a wide receiver 3 on this team, and you still got Gesicki. That would like I'm trying to blow people out the door. I'm trying to blow the doors off teams, bro. I'm trying to drop 40 every single week. But when you go to all season, you're gonna see. I'm going to be talking, we have $110 million in cap space. I'm going to be using all of it on defense. $4 million or something on 4.5 on a wide receiver is nothing. We literally have nothing to spend on offense and free agency. The starters for there are already solidified and everything's ready to go. All I'm saying is just go get a tackle in the draft, maybe pick up a veteran like tight end or something like that. I don't know what they want to do. You can do whatever you want on offense, but the defense – predominantly defense in the free agency. You come with a guy like Devin Lloyd at linebacker. You come back with a safety like Cam Curl or something like that. But that's not taking up your whole entire budget, and that doesn't mean that you can't get better in other spots. And the Yoshi thing is important too because a wide receiver 4 now he could come in and somebody if T goes out, he now you still have a field stretcher on the other side in Yoshi, but you still have Keenan Allen in the slot. Like you're not missing a beat. If somebody were to go down for a couple games or something like that, which I think happened to us when T. Higgins went down. Now we were forced to put in guys like Tinsley and different things like that I just didn't think that's who I want. I want somebody that's legit, that's already done it. Somebody in the comments gave a real good one I hadn't thought about that I like a lot, and that's Naylor from the Vikings. If y'all watch him, he's pretty nasty too. He reminds me of a lot of them Cowboys, like back when they had all them wide receivers like a couple years ago, but I really like those guys too. But I'm gonna go back. Then Kenyatta says, appreciate you. He said he or she says, I don't trust Yoshi as a number 3. I'm not gonna say I don't trust them, but I just think that when I'm thinking wide receiver 3, I'm thinking dependable, consistency. I'm catching damn near everything. That's my version of a wide receiver 3.
And I personally think like what Yoshi is going into a contract year next year. I think next year he's going to be even better than he is this season and last season. So it'd be interesting to see. Fuzzy also said, I'm happy with using all of our picks on defense. I mean, if we get a top 10 defense with our offense, we win in 13 to 14 games. Yeah, I think obviously if they fix the defense, everything else should sort itself out. Obviously, we got to keep Burrow healthy as well. But yeah, everything should sort itself out.
Now I'm gonna go to the question you originally asked me before the super chats. I just know that people want the super chats. They want to hear us read them during the actual show and not at
For
the
sure.
end. So I wanted to make sure I got those. I appreciate you all. Happy New Year, and I really, really wanted to make sure I got those knocked out. But the original question was about what I thought Ja'Marr Chase was saying. I originally saw it, and because of his comments early in the season, him and Chase Burrow talking about the defense, like it was like very. And there's quotes from his dad recently talking about the defense, saying that if the defense just strengthen things up, then you know what I'm saying, then they could win a Super Bowl. He's recently been on record of saying that, like in some interview. So in my mind, I immediately was like, well, he got to be talking about defense because he keeps on giving like different things, different acknowledgments to different members of the staff. So I'm like, well, you know, maybe like, but I'm gonna tell you, bro, I think he's talking head coach. After I go back, I think that the obvious, I don't think he thinks front office. I think players think in terms of the guys that I got. I like these my guys. He gave a good thing for DJ Turner and saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So guys don't think, the guys on teams don't think like fans. Fans are thinking long term. I've been here since the 70s. Fire Mike Brown, like get Mike Brown. Like Ja'Marr Chase isn't thinking like on that level. He's thinking, if I go out there on Sunday, how can I go win? And he's watching other teams with their coaches probably go win. I really think he's talking defense, even if he's not saying exact directly. I think that that's a functionality of the defense too, because for every single year, he's like, well, I got the same head coach and the defense is still trash every single year. So I think like subconsciously, he's probably talking Zach Taylor.
Possibly Zach Taylor. Yeah. For him saying that he thinks that the change would be easy. And he also, I don't want to leave this out either because they asked him if it was fixable, and he said it's 100% fixable, I believe so. So we're not one of those shows where we cut off the quote and we just fixate on one part. So let's not act like he doesn't think that it's fixable. So if it is something that's fixable, what is more fixable? Replacing the coach or replacing the defense?
But see, I think that he thinks that's a tricky question. Because to me, it's way easier and way fixable to just switch out a head coach.
A coach, yeah.
To go get a brand new defense and think that they're just gonna come out there hooping and be top 5. I just don't know. Like I think that that's tougher. To me, swapping out a coach, getting a coach that's won before. All right, Zach, I'll take it from here. I think that's simple. To me, that's why I always come back to, like, I think everybody's thinking big grand scheme of things. I'm looking at all these other teams and just like, dog, they got the same problem. The same things y'all talking about from the front office. The Bears fans hate their defensive line. The week that we were about to play them, all my intel, all their shows is all about how bad they paid one dude and he got hurt. They hate like their front office. They did not like him. But now that Caleb Williams and everybody just praises Ben Johnson. These teams are they're not loving their front office. They're thinking about their coach and like the ones that are winning. Like 49ers, people don't like their front office. They came into this season with the most dead cap in the history of football. They're not a model, you know what I'm saying, team to model your front office off of. The Bills, nobody likes Brandon Beane. They're thinking like this season, if they lose, they're already saying Brandon Beane got to go. There are no teams that are thinking that they love their front office outside of maybe the Broncos, maybe the Seahawks, maybe. But remember, that's a McDonald coach. And then you got Vrabel in the Patriots because they know that they have an owner that can win championships. The list of teams that like their front office, like the Steelers and Ravens, they hate their front office. Why do Bengals fans think that we're the only ones that hate our front office? Like, that's the part where I always come back to, and I'm just like, bro, if you just swap out a coach and get a Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel level coach for the Bengals, like that's a Super Bowl. Just that. You don't have to go so extreme. Like, in my opinion, like, yes, do I want new ownership? Hell yeah. I wish Elon Musk was owning the Bengals and just would buy all the players. Yeah. But that's not happening. But I can tell you, if they switch to a real coach, like a bona fide coach that has won something, I really think that it would just like hit. I really do, bro.
Because they're expecting this coach to pull a rabbit at his hat. Honestly, like that's what they're expecting. They're expecting Zach Taylor to be able to do that with the limited resources that they have. And I just don't know if Zach is going to be able to produce that. But then the question then goes back to the ownership. Like, you got to be willing to change your ways and say, like, I'm going to eat that Zach Taylor contract in order to get a real deal coach in here to help turn this team around. Because I think about that question that I asked you. I don't think that this is going to happen. And I know that people have talked about this, but I think that you could solve both of those two of what I asked you with just making Brian Flores the head coach. Like, your defense is obviously going to be better. You know, if he brings in a good staff, he could be a better coach. We've seen what he was been able to do in Miami, right? It was just a situation where they wanted to keep Tua, right? They wanted to tank. And obviously, he was right about Tua, right? Like, they've let the Tua situation play out. Now they want to move on from Tua, but now they have to get this new Troy Aikman advisement on who they should bring in as a GM, what they should do with the head coach and all of that. So it's a situation where they're going to have to make some decisions and see how things play out. But it's going to be real interesting to see where they go after this season. Has Zach Taylor done enough to keep his job? What does it look like without Zach Taylor? I think just given the constraints and what they have right now, you need a coach that's going to be able to get more juice out of the squeeze than Zach Taylor is able to get right now. And in order for you to get that, like, you see the guys that kind of change things like a Ben Johnson. Now, that's not to say that Chicago didn't do things to improve their offensive line, because they did. But a guy like Ben Johnson came in there and turned things around. A guy like Dan Campbell with the Lions is getting more juice out of that squeeze, even though now they're about to miss the playoffs. But looking at these guys that are able to rise the level of the talent that they have, and that's why I've always liked Zimmer. And it's not a shot at Lou, but I always liked Zimmer, because the first year Zimmer came here, that's what he did to the defense. He rose the floor of guys that were written off or were deemed average and had them playing at a higher level than most people thought that they could. I mean, look at Pac-Man Jones. When Pac-Man Jones came to the Bengals, they thought his career was over. Like, Mike Zimmer turned him into a top 5 corner, arguably, in 2015, or a top 10 corner, whatever you want to say. Like, he turned him into that. And I just think about a lot of the people that he did that with the Roy Williams and the Terrence Newmans and all of these guys that most people would probably say they're not that good. He was able to get the best out of them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do from that standpoint.
Look at even just from a defensive standpoint, if you hire the right guy, look at what Schwartz did with the Browns. Like, we're about to play the Browns. Like, to me, I look at those drafts. I keep on telling you, I posted it again. I don't know why our fan base is so infatuated with the Browns draft. This past draft, sure, it was a good draft. Them other drafts are ass. Those other drafts are ass. The players that were on the team, they were ass. But when they got Schwartz, the moment that they got him, the defense turned up and it turned into a different machine. The Seahawks, they drafted so perfectly for Mike McDonald too. Like, the guys, because of the secondary specialists and everything in his background, they made sure that they had those guys on the back end, like Witherspoon and all these guys, ready to roll. Because once he got his hands on them, then he's like, all right, bet, Witherspoon, you're going to take this one side of the field. I'm going to be able to work so much magic all across the other field. So that's another example of a front office mixing with the coaching, that now they have a perfect marriage, and now they're reaping and seeing the benefits of it like day one. I think Ja'Marr saying what he's saying, I wish somebody would have followed up and said, what is so obvious? Because to me, an obvious head coach change will give him a spark if it's the right one. You talked about Flores. I think he would bump heads with the front office. I don't know. To me, I don't like that one as much. I was
just saying that one because I know for sure he fits the defense, but I think you're right when you talk about bumping heads, because he bumped heads.
I think he would get them quotes. He would get them quotes. He would give quotes. Remember, Zach is a mastermind PR specialist. He would give quotes every week that I think that the Brown family would hate.
Yeah, he's a company man. He is a front man to take all of the bullets for ownership and all of that. And I think you're right. I don't think Flores would do that.
I don't know how Jesse Minter is. That's who I want. It's so late. Like, it's not happening. Like, it sucks. But changing out the head coach or changing out and adding to the defense, to me, is what I think Ja'Marr was saying. I think those two things alone I don't trust them to pick the right coach, I guess, after this whole now Zach is standing on it with Al Golden being the 31st ranked. And I get it, they're playing better against bum teams. Like I've seen them against when it was cooking time, when it was like time to go get it against the Ravens with a hurt Lamar or a hobble Lamar or that didn't, you know what I'm saying? They weren't bad in that game, but they weren't excellent. Like, you know what I mean? So I seen them in that, and I seen them in the Bills game. Yes, they gave up 18 points through three quarters, but I seen them give it all up at the end too. So it's like the guy that I would want, I just think, you know, I watched a lot of college football yesterday. There's a lot of coaches there that, like, I don't know if people saw like that Miami defense and like all these different defenses, Oregon's defense and all these, you know, like when you watch them game tackling, nobody's in a one-on-one situation. Everybody's getting, you know, they're all meeting everybody at the line of scrimmage is what is ultimately was winning every snap. I just want a coach to come in and get all of that stuff right. And I think, to me, the players and the personnel are a big part of that too. I think a big free agency will help with that, but I don't think that that's enough. The previous Zim from last year would have said, bro, just give me the players. Now that I've seen how all this is played out, I just think that they need better coaching in conjunction with that, or you're going to have Sheldon Rankins like type of situations happening all over the place or Logan Wilson and all, you know what I'm saying? All these situations I just think are so corny. They're so corny, bro. They just got to get all that stuff straight too in conjunction with it, because as much as I wanted a guy like a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's outspoken. This fan base is not ready for anybody outspoken. This coaching staff has showed they don't do that, and they got favorites and stuff like that too. Like, I don't know.
Which is crazy, bro, because we come from the era of a little bit before Marvin Lewis, but majority Marvin Lewis. So Marvin Lewis had some demons on this team. Like, and I'm not saying that they were like bad people, but Avantez Burfict, or Carlos Dunlap, Reggie Nelson, who else am I thinking of?
Wallace Gilberry,
like
Reggie, you said
Pac-Man Jones,
yeah.
And I mean, sometimes you need some of those guys. That's where you got a guy like a Joe Mixon from, that's a leader of men that can come in and just inspire people. Like, that's the part that they don't talk about, is those guys didn't like losing, and they weren't tucking their tail and not, you know, demanding more from their teammates. That's the part that they don't talk about. But they also, at the same time, had the AJ Greens. Like, sometimes you need a mix. They had the soft-spoken guys like a Geno Atkins. Like, you got to have a mix of those guys, because somebody's got to be the vocal leader. You talk about Andrew Whitworth. That was a guy that was a leader of men. He really took up for the team and really was a spokesperson for the team when Andy Dalton came along. A lot of people don't remember that. But, like, you know, sometimes he was outspoken, right? Like, sometimes he still says stuff about the Bengals now that I don't agree with. But sometimes you just need a mixture of that, because when you don't have that, there's nobody there to be a vocal leader. There's no leader, and there's no energy. And that's how you get games like a 24-0 against the Baltimore Ravens. Like, the Baltimore Ravens have a lot of outspoken guys on that defense, right? Like, let's talk about that. They got guys on that defense. You talk about the Steelers, they have outspoken guys. Sometimes you need that. Like, you don't need – now, there's some things that you don't need. I'm not telling you that you need a guy like Antonio Brown that's going live after the game. I'm not saying that. I'm saying somebody that is going to set the standard and demand what this team needs to be, and they just don't have that right now. They just don't have it. And I think if they were able to get somebody like that on defense, it's just an infectious kind of thing for the defense, where when you have that leader, when you have that guy that's able to inspire, when you have that guy that's able to rile the troops up, you need that now. And I think that's one of the biggest parts missing from the Bengals. And it's ironic that they have all of these captains, but they don't really have guys that are vocal.
But think about their captain. The one captain left. The one captain in Logan Wilson, he rolled out.
Logan Wilson left.
So think about that.
They got rid of him.
They're so rough, and our fan base is very selective on who they want to.
But I don't think Logan Wilson was a vocal leader. I'm being honest with you.
But I
can't remember one time where Logan Wilson was like, I can't remember one Logan Wilson speech. Not to say that you're not wrong, but I can't remember him being a rah-rah like.
Not even just that though. Think about it. The symbolism in a team captain is asking to get traded just because he got a couple snaps demoted. So he went from 40-something, 50-something snaps down to 20-something snaps, right? Anybody else would have did that in the past. If it was Joe Mixon, anybody like that, everybody would have been like, get him off the team. Like, period. Right? They are, I don't, for whatever reason, everybody just shot him bail for this. But he didn't get benched like McKinley Jackson. He didn't get benched like other players. He just got his snaps demoted. And he literally, all he had to do was just wait like a week or two, let it play out. At the time, Logan Wilson was not playing well, right? He's a team captain. The symbolism in this. He's not playing well. He could have been on the side encouraging, coaching them boys up. Instead, he said, nah, I need to worry about my career because if I get caught at the end of this season and I got to go to free agency at 29, whatever years old, it's gonna be trouble. So he asked for a trade.
The only thing I'll say is
he asked for a trade.
He didn't hate on Barrett Carter. He did like
I ain't say he hated on him, but this is what I'm saying.
But when you said he wasn't coaching them boys, he was coaching Barrett Carter.
I said he could have been on the sideline, rah, like doing all of that, whatever. No, I don't know what he did behind the scenes. He could have showed Barrett Carter and them all that love, but all he had to do as a captain is roll with us the same way people like me and you are just sitting here, whether we lose or not, we still rolling with our team. Bro said, nah, I need to think about my career and I need to make sure that I get hit free agency at the correct age. He goes to Dallas Cowboys, which he thinks is a better spot. Fast forward to this past week, he was a healthy, didn't even play.
Yeah.
And the reason why this is so important, McKinley Jackson was given the same circumstances, was benched, not demoted. He got benched. And he worked his butt off, and then he came back and balled out. Why is that important? Because if Logan Wilson would have just played harder in 2 weeks, hold on. Think about this. think about how bad the rookies were, right?
Yeah.
You don't think the staff would have came back 2 weeks later and been like, all right, bro, you're back to the starter. All he had to do was stick around. When you got captains leaving. Like it's
the only reason I disagree with McKinley.
They would have put
McKinley requested a trade. That's the only thing. Like McKinley didn't go about it the right way. He did request a trade. Didn't get it.
I might be thinking about somebody else too, but somebody else did the same thing.
But I do agree with you though. I think like had he just played it out, he probably would have gotten his starting spot back.
He crashed out just like anybody on Sunday when we lose and everybody's like blow the whole thing out. He was in a situation where everything was gone. I'm gonna give y'all intel. I'm gonna get like y'all give him so much praise, like so much praise. Then to have his family and stuff like that on internet, telling us how much better Dallas is than Cincinnati. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm a Bengal, bro. I'm cooking him. Like you're an op to me. Like that's just how it is, bro. You're not on my side. Yes, I appreciate everything he did, but he quit on the team. Y'all could be like, well, the Bengals shouldn't have benched him. He was playing like shit. What were they supposed to do?
He got to be accountable. He tried to blame Zach instead of being accountable and saying like, bro, I haven't played at my top level.
Bro left the Bengals for a better situation, for a better what he thought was a better situation, and he couldn't get snaps there. He still only got 20-something snaps. He could have stuck it out with us. Maybe one of them games you might win when you only got the rookie linebackers out there. But they just give this dude a pass. That's super nasty work.
Nah. He's not getting a pass at all. He's not.
I'm just telling you what I read online. They're giving him a pass. If Joe Mixon would have ever came out and said the way that they was cooking him, mind you, think about this. Joe Mixon is the second leading running back in Bengals history. Joe Mixon cooking on his team, took a pay cut and everything. And then y'all still ran him out of town. Gave up his address on his house and everything. Then he comes back the next year and goes straight to a Pro Bowl. Logan Wilson left the Bengals as a bum, playing like a bum, goes to a bum defense, and still looks like a bum and doesn't get snaps. And everybody's like, yeah, bro, like, I mean, like, you got to really credit Logan Wilson for what he's done. You didn't do that for Joe Mixon. What, bro? People think that I'm going to leave that alone. I'm never going to leave that alone because I'm never going to leave that alone. And there's other players that y'all do that to that I'm not going to leave that alone to. Why is that important? I'm going to give y'all some intel. 2022, y'all can go look this up. This is a Cincinnati exclusive. The Bengals get their ass cooked. They get their ass cooked by the Browns, 32-12 or something like that. That's the game I think Awuzie gets hurt in. Talked to a couple players on the team right after it. Season was looking bad. A lot of the leaders, a lot of the people, the Pratts and all these people that y'all run off because y'all don't like the way they tweet and all this stuff. That's why I'm moving forward talking about Bane. I'm giving people a pre-whatever because our fan base has this weird habit of not liking certain players. This dude in 2022, a lot of them leaders that are now gone spoke to the team. After that, the Bengals, I could go look at this. I might be wrong. They might have lost one. I don't know. But I think they're going a crazy streak because the following week they beat the dog. They beat the dog crap out the Panthers and Mixon goes crazy. But a lot of the players, not going to say specifically, talk to the people, the leaders that were there at that time, the Tyler boys and all that, talk to the players. This was never disclosed. They talked to people at that same time. A lot of the people that y'all say y'all didn't want them, and those people were the leaders. And now all those leaders are gone. And all those same people are the same people that people talk trash about all day on the internet from our fan base for no reason. No reason at all. Right. And then the guys like Logan Wilson that actually did quit on the team that just got demoted. Remember, he could have still balled out. He could have still battled it out. And 2 weeks later, remember how bad the linebackers were playing around that time? They would have easily said, all right, Logan, we got to get you back in there. But nope, roll it out. Now look at you.
Yeah, because they even threw Oren Burks out there. So, like, yeah, you right, bro. You're 100% right when it comes to that. The game, though. Browns game.
I forgot.
I feel like Myles Garrett is about to get this record on us, bro. Like, do you care that the record gets set against us? Is there anything else from this game that you're looking forward to? Where you at in terms of that?
I'm sick about that. I just remember the last time in the calf game, beginning I guess that was at the season opener where Burrow comes with half a calf. Yeah. And then Myles Garrett is standing over him, and they even put it on a billboard.
Yes.
What y'all think these nasty brownies are going to do now? Like, I hate that. Like, I hate it. Burrow even, I hated Burrow's answer that was saying, like, well, you know, sometimes you might have to give up a sack and like, no, throw the ball away. No, I don't want this dude to get the sack. No, bro.
Yeah,
like no.
That's history, bro.
That's
like,
crazy.
That clip is gonna be like historic, bro. I don't really want to see that. I don't want that to be that's just the worst thing. Like, of all people for it to happen to is Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Like, nah, bro.
And they're gonna move him. You know, they're gonna move him all around too. So like,
he's gonna be doing his little crossovers, and I'm like, this is nasty.
He's not gonna move over there. They never gonna line him up over there on that Mem side though. They're gonna run it. They're gonna run him right there in between Ted Karras and Reisner or something like that, and then let him shoot that gap. And then they're gonna take their one-on-ones, any one-on-ones that they get on Orlando Brown. That's what you already like. I already know that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I think they gave him an 84% chance of breaking the record against us.
Bro, he should have. Bro, like the Steelers game is nasty because Aaron Rodgers was like so adamant and getting the ball out so crazy, like in that game. Yeah, there is validity to like he didn't want him to get the sack. I think Burrow should be on the same thing. I don't think Burrow should play the whole game anyway. I don't think Burrow should be playing at all.
You know the way that they can stop him from getting it. Run the ball with Chase Brown. Like if they ran the ball like this. If you're talking about dropping back 40 times, like you shouldn't be dropping back 40 times in this game with Joe Burrow and expecting him. You got to run the ball 25 to 30 times in this game if you expect to keep Myles Garrett out of this game.
Let me ask you this. Somebody said Burrow. Somebody told me this on Twitter. They was like, bro, maybe if Burrow just gives him the sack early, that he'll just chill out and maybe take himself out the game once he breaks the sack record.
I mean, I could see like it's funny, bro, because I tried to tell these brownies this a long time ago. When you're trying to get a new quarterback and you're tanking, you can't be 1 foot out, 1 foot in. we still trying to, we can lose this game or we can win this game and we'll be okay. Right now, you're drafting 6, brother. You're not getting a quarterback right now. As it stands right now, you're not in prime position to get a quarterback. You got to be in the top 3, my brother. And you getting a win against the Steelers last week did not help your cause whatsoever. So them playing this game where it's like, oh, we got to get Miles the sack record, but we're gonna play him in the game. But like, they're playing a dangerous game when it comes to that. And I know that the Browns think that they can move wherever up and down the draft. The NFL don't work like that, bro. Like, we've seen people have to give up multiple first rounders just moving up from number 2 to number 1. So going from number 6 to number 1, you still don't have a quarterback. So for them, I don't know what strategy they want to play, but your strategy still equals I don't have a quarterback. So whether Myles Garrett gets the sack record or not, you don't have a quarterback for next year. Your issue was that you didn't have a quarterback this year. You're gonna have the same issue next year because you're not about to be able to get Mendoza or whatever from number 6. Unless you're just, I don't know what else
you're not even gonna be in position to go get the kid from Oregon either more or
so I don't know what their goal is. And I told them, I tried to tell them, I'm like, when we had Andy Dalton and it was a situation where we were playing the dog, we need to lose that game. Like, we need to make sure that we get a top 3 pick because you're not gonna be able to survive that. So the Browns are going Brown. We see, like,
he's been on record to say he wants to get 25.
25?
That's what he said. That's why I think he's just
cool. Great. I thought originally this offseason he said the goal isn't to go from Cleveland to Canton. I guess it is, bro. I guess it is. I guess that's what the goal is. Like, cool story, bro. Myles Garrett is a hell of a player. I'm never gonna hate on him from that aspect. But at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses, bro. And you getting a sack record just like Ja'Marr getting a triple crown didn't make your team make the playoffs. Didn't help your team get better. Didn't do anything to impact the next season. So, I want to see out of this game, can they stop Myles Garrett from getting a sack? Because you're talking about a game that doesn't matter. This game does matter for Myles Garrett. So you're at least getting a real look at Myles Garrett going 110 miles per hour against your offensive line. So when I'm looking at a Dalton Risner, if he's able to stop him in this game, I need Dalton Risner extended. I need Amarius Mims extended. If this offensive line is able to hold up, I need them extended. If Chase Brown is able to get 100 yards again on this defense, I need him extended. So
I don't need this game to tell me I need that right. I need that right now, bro. Like, I need all.
Well,
Mims isn't good.
An in-season extension joint, yeah, for sure.
That will hit. That the Risner one will hit, bro. Like, I think it would be like the whole creative. Like when they're like, yeah, we gotta do something creative. That would be the one because that's an easy deal to get done, bro.
Dude wants to be here, bro. Super dude wants easy to be here. It's like just get it done, bro. Just get it done.
And in case y'all missed the quote, Dalton Risner says, I've really found a home here. I've really enjoyed the season. I think it'll be a good March for me. Personally, I love if the Bengals didn't let me get the March. That's not my choice. The ball is in their court. I love to stay and be a Bengal.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you need to hear, bro? I'm talking to the agent now. Like, let's set up
Sign him now. Sign him now.
Let's set up the framework. And like, a lot of people say, "Oh, the front office shouldn't listen to the fan base and all of that." The fan base told you to sign Dalton Risner like 3 years ago. They told you to sign.
The fan base cooked. The fan base cooked with Fan and Risner. I know Fan ain't had a season that everybody wanted, but that was two guys that everybody really, really wanted to see come in. And the front office, did their thing as far as signing them. But the Risner one, I mean, we ain't had a guard look like this since Zeitler. Like, it's a no-brainer. I think he fits the system perfectly. It's clear that Zach Taylor's going to be the coach next year. Like, off of all the things that we're seeing, if you're going to still be in that same passing system, which I'm not a big fan of when we start talking about the longevity of Burrow, like, I don't know. I just wish they would throw a couple little gimmicky things in there, too. Like, him dropping back like that to me, like, I see what people were telling me 2 years ago when I'd be like, man, I don't care about that, bro. It's 9, bro. You like, nah, I'll be watching the games like that now. Like I watch them like, I don't know. And him dropping back that many times, you better have a guard that can pass pro like Reisner if you're going to try to pull this thing off.
For sure. Before we get out of here, we're going to toss it over to our good friends over at Midwest Best Barbecue.
Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them hot honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. And much love to Mama T, Uno and CTB. MB's got Bengals wings, and now we just added T's. 9 to 5 winning things. Gritty for Uno wings. We say yes, Sirski now. Like Aces and be saying that T got them new wings. Only at MB's. Honey lemon peppers. Now you can call them T's. Honey lemon peppers. Now they call T Higgins. Or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them honey lemon peppers. Now they call T Higgins. Or you say number 5.
That was nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue. They're actually closed today as we're recording this on January 2nd. They'll be back open tomorrow. Make sure you stop in there. Let them know Ace and Zim sent you. They got all types of good food there. And during the wintertime, sometimes they even do a brisket stew. So make sure that you check that out. Get you some Unos. Get you some teas. Fuzzy said give them half Unos, half teas. You can't go wrong at Midwest Best Barbecue, 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. You can also place your order online at MidwestBestBarbecue.com. So make sure that you book with them today and get that meal that you so desperately need any time of the week, any day of the week. Make sure you stop in and see Midwest Best Barbecue. Zim, before we get out of here, was there anything that you wanted to say, bro?
Steelers, Ravens, Sunday night. Who you got?
Man, bro, I honestly think it's in Pittsburgh. It's Sunday night. The only thing is they don't have DK, bro. Like, they need DK Metcalf, I think, in that
Darnell
game.
Washington.
No Darnell Washington. I don't feel good for the Steelers in this one, man. But I honestly think the Ravens are actually better starting with Huntley because Huntley can run and do all of that. So I really wonder how Lamar is going to come out because he hasn't played well. So if the Steelers defense is able to take advantage of that, I think the Steelers can get it done. Again, I just worry about the Steelers offense scoring. If they're not going to be able to throw the ball, they got to hand the ball off to Jaylen Warren and have him lead that offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm always going to say that I want the Steelers to win over the Ravens. I know that's nasty.
That's 2020-ish and up. Bengal fan, 2020 and before is all you will never be rooting for the Steelers in the game. Like, that's some new stuff. I think me and you, I think Spaces and all that we did and all that we went up against the Ravens made everybody see how much of a terrible fan base that is. And it might be the worst in sports. So I'm going Steelers in this game, who I want to win, I guess. It's going to be tough sledding. The one thing I will say is, yes, he wasn't playing well, but in that Patriots game, he was like 10 for 11, 100 yards, and they were driving when he got hurt in his back. So I think his legs and stuff are starting to come back. So I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, he just miraculously is a full participant this week after his back contusion last week that he sat out.
That's one thing I love about our fan base. If Joe ever did half of that stuff, they would be cooking his ass.
They would get Joe out of here. Joe doesn't fake or Joe came back early from a crazy injury. Like, he would never do
every time. Even the ACL was like he was way ahead of schedule. The two games this year where Lamar like can't finish out a game, can't play none of them weeks or whatever, or like this past week couldn't play. Then all of a sudden, miraculously, just wake up full participant. That doesn't happen in football. I hope people know that. Like, you generally come back as a limited, see how it feels, whatever. Like, the fact that you just wake up and like, yeah, I'm back, I'm full. That's a red flag in itself. So we'll see how it goes.
Facts.
Neither one of them can win in the playoffs, so we good to go, I think.
No, for sure. Appreciate you guys for tapping in with the Cincinnati podcast. We will see you guys next week. Who dey?
Coming up on the Cincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.